Hello guys, how are we all doing for the final time this season? Championship predictions, week 46. I'm joined by George. It's a sad one today.
Very sad.
It's over.
It's over.
It's been a great season, guys. Thank you for your brilliant support. Make sure you've dropped a like and subscribed as we get into these predictions today. Obviously, after what we saw with Bournemouth versus Forest, the top two is sealed. The bottom three was sealed a few weeks ago, but the playoffs are very juicy, and we all like to have a bit of fun on the final day. So let's go for some goals. Let's get into this with Birmingham City versus Blackburn. Birmingham, it's been a season to forget again. It's just not very memorable. I thought at the start of the season under Lee Bowyer they'd be good. They started all right. They've fallen away. They need a big summer, don't they? Because realistically, they'd have been in massive trouble if it wasn't for the points deductions to Derby and Reading. Blackburn, they've had a pretty good season, but another one of frustration with Tony Mowbray when they've come so close but fallen short. Are they going to make some changes? I'm going to go Birmingham 1, Blackburn 2.
Really a nothing game. You know, both teams will want to sort of forget about it and move on to next season. 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
On to the next one then, we have AFC Bournemouth versus Millwall. Now, up until Bournemouth beat Forest, we were like, this game could be massive, and it still will be for Millwall. Now, Bournemouth are up, they can celebrate, this will be the crowning of their promotion, whatever. They finished second this season, but they are up against Millwall, who have a chance. They have a chance, but Millwall, the lowest out of the teams that can make the playoffs, and really it's the trickiest fixture, other than maybe Sheffield United. They've got Fulham. I think Millwall will really scrap and make this hard work because Bournemouth don't have too much to play for. I think this could be an entertaining draw, which just wouldn't be enough. I'll say 1-1.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth will be on the beer. I think they'll be in party mode. I don't think they'll be going into the final game really trying to do anything, and I think Millwall might actually nick it 1-0.
Oh, Millwall to win. Yeah. That makes things interesting. Would that be enough? But once again, congratulations to Bournemouth getting promoted. Didn't mention that. Next game we'll go to is Derby County versus Cardiff City. Cardiff, not the best season. There's been little moments, but they'll be looking forward to next season. They're in the Championship again. They're a club with potential. We'll see what they do in the summer. Obviously, we know Derby are going down. This is their last home game in the Championship, but a big win away at Blackpool last time. Fair play to the 4,000 Derby fans that went, and they were still jumping around even though they knew they were going down. I think Derby might win. They'll go out on a win. It's been a decent season for what it has been. I'll say 2-1 Derby.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think Derby will go out with some pride. I think they'll actually...
With some Pride Park.
Yeah, that's it. I missed the pun then, didn't I? Yeah, I think they will go out and win quite comfortably. I think they'll actually win 3-0.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that'd be a great win. And we'll wait and see what Derby can do next year. If they can get stability, they could be a real force in League One.
Definitely.
Next up we go to Huddersfield Town versus Bristol City, both picking up a win in their last game. Bristol City beating Hull 5-0. Honestly, if they could have just done that over the season, they could have been a real force. They've got good players, so we'll wait and see what they do next season. Huddersfield have obviously got more games to come. They're in the playoffs. We saw them beat Coventry. I think Huddersfield are a team that grind out results even when they're not at their best. I think this doesn't matter massively. Huddersfield can still finish third, but does that make much of a difference? I don't know. I'll say 2-2.
Yeah, Huddersfield, they are such a strange side. They haven't, when I've seen them, at least against my own team, Coventry City, they really haven't impressed me, and I have no idea how they are so high up in the table. They're literally like a couple of points off second, and it's, yeah, it blows my mind. Going into this game, you know, neither side really has anything to play for. Obviously, Bristol City is safe. Huddersfield, they are securely in the playoffs. So I think Huddersfield may actually rest a few players, you know, with an eye on the playoffs, and then Bristol City may actually go on to win 2-0.
2-0 Bristol City?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, next up we'll go to Hull City versus Nottingham Forest. Obviously, commiserations to Forest on not making second, but we still fancy them to be strong in the playoffs, considering the form they've had and what they've done under Cooper. They'll go away to this game knowing it doesn't mean too much. I wonder if they might rest players. Like I say, they've got big games coming in the playoffs. Hull City, meanwhile, they got battered by Bristol City. They really want to end on a better note than that. But I think Forest quality will be too much. 2-0 to Forest.
Yeah, I actually agree. 2-0 to Forest on this one. I think I think Forest will probably rest one or two players because, again, you've got to have an eye on the playoffs. You don't want to get any injuries, and you want your players to be fresh for both legs. But yeah, again, they've got too much quality, haven't they, for Hull?
Yeah. So 2-0. Yeah.
2-0.
Next up we go to Kenilworth Road as Luton Town take on Reading. Who'd have thought this game would have something riding on it a week or two ago? I thought Luton were pretty much as good as there, and now the pressure's on. But it is in their hands. Will they win this game? That Fulham game was certainly a setback, but I do fancy them to win. I will mention congratulations to Reading on staying up. Obviously that happened a couple of weeks ago, but Paul Ince did a decent job there when things were certainly hotting up. But they've got nothing to play for, and Luton need to get a result here. I know they've had a few injuries, but I think Luton will get over the line in a 3-1 win.
Yeah, I think Luton, they've got to restore some pride, haven't they, after that 7-0 loss to Fulham. It was a bit of a shock one, to be honest, but then again, I guess it was Fulham's day. They obviously won the league. But yeah, they've got to pick up 3 points, and if they can, they've got to try and score some goals because their goal difference has been shattered, quite literally. So I'm going to actually go for a 4-0 win.
Wow, that would be quite the ending at the Kenilworth Road Stadium. Next up we go to Peterborough versus Blackpool. Both teams came up and one of them has gone back down. Fair play to Blackpool, they've had their good moments through the season and obviously been the team that stayed up. Hull City also stayed up, but Blackpool have finished the highest out of the newly promoted teams. Commiserations to Peterborough. I do think they'll be pretty strong going down into League One. They know what that league's all about. Doesn't mean all too much this game. I'll say 1-1.
Yeah, it's season's already done, isn't it? But again, both teams will just sort of want to get cracking with next season. Obviously, different circumstances for the both of them. But Blackpool, I think they'll want to finish as high as possible. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Blackpool.
2-0 Blackpool, yeah. Blackpool have been brilliant, so looking forward to seeing them again next season. Next up, we'll go to Preston versus Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough, what a week they had, picking up 6 points in those 2 home games, taking things right to the wire now. But it isn't in their hands. But you look at Luton playing Reading and Sheffield United playing Fulham, if just one of those two slip up, Middlesbrough could get in there. It's not easy going to Preston. Preston have been fairly decent at times this season. I will back Borough though. I'm just going to say 1-0. That could be enough.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be quite a tight game. You don't typically have many goals when Preston is concerned. They seem to be sort of resolute at the back. But ultimately, if Middlesbrough win and Luton win, Middlesbrough obviously are not in that playoff place, but I think they will still win. I think they'll win 1-0, just the same. 1-0.
Okay, next up to Bramall Lane. Now this is a big game as well. Sheffield United. Now we said about them being the highest now out of the 4 teams, obviously duelling for the 2 playoff places left, but they and Millwall have the hardest games. Playing Fulham isn't easy. Fulham have already won the title though. This is so hard to predict because I watched both games at the weekend. Sheffield United beating QPR. They looked very good, especially in that second half. But then I watched Fulham destroy Luton. I think you've got to go for goals on the final day. There's going to be an absolute goal fest here. And Sheffield United are just going to do it 3-2.
Sheffield United 1-0.
Sheffield United 1-0?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up we go to Coventry City away at Stoke City. Do you know what's interesting? I spoke to you about this earlier, how Coventry City are now higher in the away table than we are in the home table, which is quite an interesting stat, considering how things were halfway through the season. Stoke City and Coventry, you can draw parallels, how they both had good starts, they both fell away, they're both mid-table. Stoke can finish higher than Coventry with a win, not all too much riding on this game, but because Coventry have been decent away from home, we're going to end on a win. Stoke 1, Coventry 2.
Yeah, I think, anything less than a win will probably see us slide into the bottom half of the table, and I think that given our start, that will mean
it'd be disappointing.
Yeah, it'd be a disappointing end to the season. I think we were sort of destined for at least a top 10 finish, and we have sort of fell away in the recent weeks. So I've got to go for a win. I'm going to go for 2-1.
2-1, yeah, same as me. Next up, we go to Liberty, Swansea versus QPR. Not too much riding on this either. Both teams had their moments. Swansea ending stronger than QPR. QPR started stronger than Swansea. I fancy Swansea. I've got a feeling that Swansea will be good next year because of the way they've been patient with the way they play, and if they can make some good signings and good additions, they could be a real complete team for next season. QPR, last game with Warburton. We'll see what they can do next season, but 2-0 Swansea.
Yeah, Swansea, as you mentioned, they're a good side, but they do like their time wasting. Say that. But I'm going to go for a QPR win on this occasion. 2-0.
2-0 QPR, there you go, completely opposite to me.
Yeah.
The final game is at the Hawthorns, West Bromwich Albion versus Barnsley. Also doesn't mean anything. Both teams could duel for positions on the final day. No, in fact, I'm looking at the table. Barnsley are rock bottom, and they will be. But West Brom, if they can win, they would stay 10th. I think they could even climb up to 9th. I don't know, West Brom have been a bit flat this season at the Hawthorns, so maybe Barnsley get a point. We'll see what Barnsley do in League One, we'll see what West Brom do in the Championship next year, but I'm going to end with a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to end it on Barnsley getting a win.
Go on, go for goals.
4-0 to Barnsley.
What's the point? Why not? It's the last prediction.
Yeah.
Sorry to the West Brom fans watching. There you go then. That's our predictions. Get your predictions down below. We've still got predictions to come for the playoffs when they come around, and more live streams and stuff, of course. Thank you for your brilliant support, like I say, through the season. Make sure you've dropped a like. Make sure you've subscribed. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.